to just start off right at the top because there was some breaking news just as we were filling out here today, and I want to make sure that we update everybody on there. The trial for former President Trump just concluded, and the jury just delivered their verdict. So for those of you who have not been informed yet, he has been found guilty on all 34 counts of fraud. It's important to note that despite the initial statements trying to politicize this verdict, saying that it was somehow partisan or Democrats or what have you, Donald Trump was convicted by a jury of his peers. In fact, usually it is the poorest and the people with least resources and the most marginalized, and often Black and brown New Yorkers that experience the actual miscarriages of justice, not just in New York, but across the country. And I think what was important today is trying to at least strive for a world where the rule of law applies to everybody. And in fact, usually it is the wealthiest and the whitest and the most powerful people that do not experience an actual accountability or an equal level of accountability in our justice system. And so he has the right, I think, to pursue whatever his legal avenues are, but...
All right, guys, so we got to follow up on our continuation of the coverage around the historic conviction of President Trump. And one of the things that I am noticing the most about some of the takes from the left and in the mainstream liberal media and the Democrats is that they make absolutely no damn sense. These people contradict themselves so much. They're twisting themselves into mental pretzels to try to say that, hey, if you feel like the outcome of the trial was unfair and that there's a two-tier justice system and Trump clearly is the victim of weaponization of the legal system in order to target one man, then you are a conspiracy theorist, okay? President Biden came out and said today that you are also a dangerous person if you question the outcome, if you question the integrity of that trial and whether or not it was actually fair. But at the same time, they will say, well, if it didn't happen in New York, this would not have happened. This would not have been the outcome, which would suggest that it was political, because the only reason that there would be a different outcome in a different state would have to be because of politics. That would be the main reason. Also, on top of that, what they will say is that, well, no, you don't understand. Trump is not the victim of a two-tier justice system because he's white and wealthy. It's not possible. Those people experience privilege, okay? The people that are actually really the victims of the two-tier justice system are the so-called Black and brown folks. So essentially, you're acknowledging that the system can be weaponized. Now, I'm not entirely sure why is it that the system can be weaponized against millions of so-called Black and brown people, right? Systemic racism, which is something that Biden is partially responsible for, but he, for whatever reason, never gets punished by the Democrat Party or the Democrat voters for this so-called systemic racism that he helped construct. But anyways, you acknowledge that the so-called systemically racist system can be unfair and target millions of so-called Black and brown people. It can be weaponized. You're acknowledging that that is a possibility. But it's not possible for the legal system to be weaponized against one man who is Trump, who you say that people like him get off usually because they are white and wealthy. Now, Trump is white and wealthy, so he has those privilege stones, okay? Now, since Trump has those privilege stones and he still got convicted, what else would explain it? Because usually the white and wealthy get off, again, according to AOC. I'm trying to make the connection here, right? What else would explain Trump getting convicted or you seeing this actual justice happen unless there was some other factor? Because according to these people and their logic, well, if you're white and you're wealthy, you get away with this type of stuff. You can buy your way out of it. You got white privilege. But for whatever reason, being wealthy and white privilege didn't help out Trump in this situation. Again, why may that be? Could it be because of the political part of it, right? Could it be that maybe the political nature of this whole process overrid the white and wealthy privilege that the left claims that Trump has? I'm just saying, because if you go with leftist logic, okay, if you go with their logic, if you take their arguments at face value, it doesn't make sense for this outcome to happen unless there was some other factor, okay, that override Trump's white and wealthy privilege, okay? Because otherwise, according to leftist logic, doesn't matter if he's guilty or not. He's going to get away with it because he's white and wealthy, right? But that didn't happen in this situation. Again, to me, it would seem like there has to be some other factor that would play into that, okay? Maybe the political angle of it. I'm just saying, this is one of the reasons why when you actually listen to these people talk and how they go out of their way and they jump through hoops to try to say, oh, it's not political, it's not rigged, but then they'll turn around in their explanation of why it's not political or why it's not a sham or why it's not rigged. They will admit that, oh, yeah, it is political, right? Or that, yeah, it is a sham. And you can't forget that you have people like Joy Reid, who just a couple weeks ago was parading around Marilyn Mosby, who happens to be a black woman who got convicted of perjury, lying on paperwork in order to buy some house in Florida while taking advantage of pandemic relief rules, right? They paraded her around. She's screaming racism. Oh, the DOJ is weaponized against me, even though her theory made zero sense whatsoever. Okay, she claimed that it was political and racist, even though she really didn't have any evidence to back that up. Like there is nothing there to substantiate her claims, unlike Trump's claims, right? That's the difference. Trump's claims actually have some meat to them. Marilyn Mosby's claim had no meat to them, but yet Joy Reid sat there and nodded her head like a seal, okay? Nodded her head, and just went along with all of these claims, right? Oh, yeah, the system's being weaponized against you. Yeah, because you're a black woman. It's totally possible if you're a black woman. But if you're a white man that usually experiences white and wealthy privilege, oh no, there's no way that the system is being weaponized against you. Not happening. Can't happen. And it's so hilarious to me to watch these same people who literally supported riots in the streets over what is supposed to be a two-tier justice system, right? Over what's supposed to be a systemically racist system that's unfair to black and brown people, and that is weaponized against people because the government doesn't like you. These people rioted in the streets over that, and now all of a sudden, when it comes to Trump, oh no, completely fair. There's no way that the system was weaponized, even though we've been arguing that the system is weaponized against people for years now, right? Decades. Oh, in this one instance, this guy who usually would get away with it because he's white and wealthy, but he's not getting away with it. It is 100% fair, and if you question it, you're a dangerous person, right? You're trying to undermine the American legal system, and that is dangerous. Again, something that Democrats have literally been doing for the past 8 years, okay? Trying to undermine law and order, law enforcement, the criminal justice. They've been trying to undermine all of this stuff for the last 8 years. All of a sudden now they want to get mad and upset and cry, right, about Republicans saying, hey, this is unfair. Again, it reminds me of when they came to the defense of the Capitol police officers and all of a sudden wanted to act like they were pro-police after spending literally the last 8 months before that demonizing police, right? Talking about defunding the police, okay? All of a sudden, they support the police on January 6th. The hypocrisy knows no bounds. So anyways, that brings me to this pretty awesome video from the Breakfast Club. And why is it awesome? Not because of Leonard McKelvey or DJ Envy, but because of the Trump supporters that called into their show today to explain why they're still supporting Trump.
Support a man, the fact that he's a convicted felon, does that change your views, bro?
Not at all, man. I got plenty homies who have felonies who are good people, man. Who are good people.
Okay.
All right.
That's all you got.
Good folk, man.
Are you voting? Are you voting? Are you voting in November?
Absolutely. I voted last time.
Who'd you vote for last
And the time before that. For Trump, I did. I voted for him. Listen, the first time he got in, I didn't vote for him, but the second time I did.
Oh, so you voted for Hillary in 2016?
Nah, I wrote in Bernie Sanders. I ain't even going to front.
How the hell you? Oh, you wrote in Bernie Sanders. Okay, so you wrote in Bernie Sanders.
Wrote in Bernie Sanders. I voted Bernie Sanders.
You voted 2020 for Trump, and this year you're gonna vote for Trump again.
Yes, sir. Let me get right to the meat and potatoes, baby.
Okay.
Listen, I'd rather have a president, right, who's gonna be honest and show me that he's the a-hole than have a president who's gonna lie to me to try to gas me up to get my vote, man. He came on there and said, "Oh, if you don't vote for me, you're not black." Hold up. What, Biden? What you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Come on, man. Even Charlotte, man. I felt it in your voice when you heard that. You stuttered real quick, like,
I didn't stutter at all.
You stutter every day.
I didn't stutter at all.
I felt the vibrations through the airwaves, brother. I'm telling you.
People like Charlamagne the God, who is woke, who definitely likes to complain about the so-called systemically racist system being weaponized against black folk, doesn't seem to understand why black people would support Trump or why some black people would resonate with what Trump is going through. Again, despite Charlemagne saying that, hey, the system is systemically racist, it targets black people. Now, again, I have questions about Charlemagne's own personal experience. I mean, the guy's name is Leonard McKelvey, okay? I mean, I don't think that he's ever experienced any racism with a name like that. There's never been a resume that he submitted that was denied because his name sounds too ghetto, right? I mean, I'm just saying, Charlemagne, I got questions, but it seems to me that somebody like him would automatically kind of understand why some black people would resonate with what Trump is going through. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Good morning, brother.
Peace, TK.
What up, Charlemagne? What up, Jeff?
What up?
What's your thoughts, brother?
Well, I'm going to tell you, man, I feel like Trump's out there dirty. And I don't trust the system at all. You know what I mean? Especially being through the system. I'm the same one that called yesterday about that dog situation. So it's like after you've been railroaded by this system and you see that when you walk in the courtroom, they want you to be guilty. You're going to be guilty. I don't got no trust in that process at all. You know what I mean? I rock with Trump. I feel like that he way better than Biden. Biden, I can't stand him. Biden the devil, man. Biden the same one. Y'all remember them policies from the 90s? I know y'all got family members that was victim of that.
The 86 mandatory minimum sentencing, the 88 crack laws, 94 crime bill. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you, TK.
Cool. That went away behind that nonsense. And so how can anybody black vote for Biden? The antics that those people take, he going to black cookouts all of a sudden, he doing all this stupidness. It's like a slap in the face. I respect Trump because at least Trump real.
But yeah, so before Charlemagne responds with his nonsense, I want you guys to understand, this caller is logically consistent. He's correct. He's saying, listen, if Biden passed all these bills that you guys claim are systemically racist, these bills have contributed to holding black people back, okay? One of the reasons why black people can't get ahead, why there's not fathers in homes, how in the world can you support somebody like that, especially when you're supposed to be fighting against systemic racism and fighting against racism, right? Racism is such a big deal. Why are you rewarding a man that helped construct a system that you claim is holding black people back? How can you support that? It doesn't make sense. This dude is 100% right. That's the thing I don't understand about these people, okay? It's almost like their brains break when it comes to supporting Democrats, right? They throw all the things that they claim they support out the window. They still got to support Democrats, even though Democrats can do something, can be responsible for the system that they claim they're fighting against. Hey, let's vote against a Republican because of systemic racism. But Biden is the guy that's responsible for these laws, these disparities that you guys complain about so much, right? That's what blows my mind. That's why I don't understand. That's why I don't get. But again, this guy is actually being logically consistent, unlike Charlemagne, who is one of these people that complain about this stuff so much, but yet he doesn't actually hold Biden accountable for doing it. He doesn't hold Biden accountable. How can you vote for a man that is responsible for the system that you claim has hurt so many black folks? I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Trump real. He might sound stupid. He's not articulate. Whatever. My quality of life was better under Trump. We didn't have all these problems at the border under Trump. We didn't have none of this going on.
But I do think Trump is a narcissist, and I think he's going to be in a position where he is going to be his way or the highway. I think he's going to go on a revenge tour if he does, and I don't think he necessarily listens to opinions. I think he does what he wants to do, and I don't think that's a great thing for the country as well, though.
Can I ask you a question, sir? We talk about the policies that the President Biden implemented in the late 80s and the 90s, very racist policies that impacted our community, but you also got to think about a lot of the racist things that he wasn't the president then, but President Trump did in the 90s, whether it was what he was doing with his tenants, right?
Well, not letting black people stay in some of his buildings.
Yeah, whether it was what he did with the Central Park 5 by taking that out in the paper. He's showing racism too. So when you're talking about two white men,
they both racist.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, look at the difference. Look at one of these racists made policies that actually affected lives. That mess what Trump had going on, his buildings, his talking about the Central Park 5. That had nothing to do with life. That was small. That's small.
So
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. It's really that simple. You're talking about allegations of, Trump discriminated against people when it comes to housing. Again, Trump denies those claims, and that claim was actually settled, right? That was something that was settled. There was no definitive findings that, Trump was being racist, okay? You talk about the Central Park 5. A lot of people at that time were angry about what happened. Trump was one of those people that was angry. Doesn't mean he targeted them because they were black. A lot of people were fed up with the crime that was going on in New York City at the time. But when he was actually president, how was black America doing? That's what really matters, right? When he was president, how was America as a whole, really? How was the country doing? The country was in a much better place. What policies did Trump pass that are systemically racist or that had a negative effect on black people like the policies that Biden passed? I'll wait. I don't think there are any at all. But yeah, again, these people, when they talk about Trump being such a big threat to black people, well, again, what did Trump do to hurt black people during his administration? But Biden actually created legislation, laws that people like Charlamagne the God acknowledge are racist, that have hurt black folks. But I'm afraid Trump's going to seek revenge. He's a narcissist. I don't know if that's good for the country, right? This is what people like DJ Envy is saying, just straight NPC response. You already have a tyrant in the White House. You're worried about Trump being a tyrant. Trump has already proved he's not that, right? Because when he had the opportunity to be during the pandemic, he chose not to. If there was a time for Trump to be a dictator, it would have been during the pandemic. He chose not to. But Biden did take advantage of the pandemic to become a dictator. Biden is the guy that these people claim that they're so afraid of, and that's why they won't vote for Trump. That's the excuse for not voting for Trump. But the guy that they claim that they're afraid of so much is already in the White House. That's what these people don't understand. That's what they don't realize. And that's what's so frustrating about these individuals. The caller is probably more informed about the issues and is thinking more logically consistent than these two people. But these two guys have the big platform. Again, it's amazing. Also heard on this show, Charlamagne the God responded to another caller who talked about how, people had money under Trump. Well, people only had money because the pandemic and Trump gave out the stimulus checks. Again, such a stupid response. Before the pandemic, Trump's economy was doing great. Housing was affordable. The cost of living was much lower. The economy was booming, okay? Consistent GDP growth. We were getting people out of poverty. People were getting off food stamps. That's when people actually had money, okay? So to pretend like, oh, well, people only had money in the Trump administration when he started passing out stimulus checks. Foolishness. Another NPC response.
You look at Biden making actual policies.
Oh, no,
people.
I'm with you.
Right.
But now this person that was racist in the 90s is going to potentially be president of the United States of America again. So you don't think that he's going to...
when he was president initially, what did he do that was racist? If anything, he helped alleviate some of the issues that Biden created with the passage of the First Step Act, right? When Trump signed that into law, criminal justice reform, he helped roll back some of those things that Biden put into place. So again, what Charlamagne the God is saying here is just, it's nothing but emotion and just derangement. But it's not founded on any type of facts, okay? It's not founded on facts. It's just founded on, well, I'm black and I got a radio show, and I just can't come out here and say I don't support Biden. I have to support Biden no matter what. I'll call him a racist, but I'm going to say Trump racist. I'm not going to base my claims of Trump being a racist or a worse racist than Biden off any type of facts or anything like that. I'm just going to base it based off my emotions and the fact that I know that I'll lose my platform, that I'll be kicked out of the black community, I'll be called a sellout and all types of racial slurs if I come out here and really tell the truth, right? If I actually use logic, okay, in reasoning when it comes to who I should support and who's better for this country, not gonna be good for my wallet, right? That's what's going on here.
Implement policies that will be racist. I'm just asking questions. I'm just playing white devil's advocate.
No,
okay.
Not at all. Not at all. Because when Trump was in office, I didn't have the problems I have now at all. Boom. I don't think it was ever about a black and white with Trump. It's definitely about a black and white with Biden.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just.
Boom. 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 I mean, wow. It's just, again, it really is amazing to me that people like Leonard have a show with so many followers and listeners, right? I mean, I guess it's a hip hop show and they've kind of dug into politics because everything is political nowadays. So I get it. I understand it. But that caller had much more common sense and actually was much more logical in his thinking than Charlemagne. Okay, I think the caller probably should be the host of the Breakfast Club, not Charlemagne. But hey, that's just my opinion. I'm just saying that, again, the hypocrisy for the left here is stunning in the sense that usually they're against this type of stuff, except when it comes to their political opponents, which is all the more evidence that, hey, this is political, okay? Because otherwise, they would be against this. They would be agreeing that, yeah, it is weaponization, okay, the system's against me, right? But again, because it's Trump, now all of a sudden they're quiet about that. It's not possible for the system to be weaponized. In fact, they'll say that, well, I don't know how Trump got convicted because he has white wealthy privilege, right? Now, again, it's just so funny to me to listen to these people talk. They don't make any sense. The worst part is that they don't even know they don't make any sense. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.